Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you once again for yielding to our invitation this morning to be at this press briefing. Everybody, members of civil society groups, the media, uh, the government representative, if we have anyone here, and our friends in general, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome every one of you to this press briefing. We are engaging in this press briefing today because of a project that we are launching in Ghana today, just as coincidentally, this same project is being launched in Liberia as we speak. It's a Pan-African project spanning through seven African countries: Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cameroon, Malawi, and Kenya. And it's a project that looks at tracking the resource utilization of COVID-19. So the project itself is called the CTAP project, COVID-19 Transparency and Accountability Project. And that is being run in seven African countries, like I mentioned earlier, principally by Budgets International and in partnership with Connected Development. That is also the pioneer of the Follow the Money initiative. So one hashtag that we are using to run this project is Follow COVID Money, right? So wherever COVID money has gone to, whatever the government have used COVID money to do, we want to be able to track that and then bring that to the public for discussion, for engagement, for awareness, for civic education also. And we are also glad to be working with other partners, especially a local partner here in Ghana that is already well known and well established, Send Ghana. We are happy to be partnering and working in close collaboration with Send Ghana, and we believe that together, Send Budget, Follow the Money, will be able, and other partners indeed, will be able to track and report objectively on how the government of Ghana effectively and efficiently utilize the resources that have been committed into COVID-19 response. Resources both in budgetary allocation, in donations, resources both in cash and in kind from government, from private, from bilateral organizations. We need to, it is the right of everyone, every citizen, every Ghanaian, to know what resources came in or went into or is still being expended in the fight against COVID-19. It is their right to know. It is their right to also track and be aware of what the government is doing part time. That is why we are here, and among other things, I mean, beyond the CTAP project, Budget itself is a civic tech organization that promotes transparency and accountability, bridging the gap between government and the people. And aside the CTAP project, we are also going to be riding on the CTAP project to also facilitate budget access and civic education to the Ghanaian people and to raise active citizens. Active citizens are everyone, every Ghanaian that is not just complacent, but are active. They are willing to ask questions and then to hold. They are also willing to hold their elected officials to account. These and many more are what we are going to be doing over the next couple of months and beyond. And I hope that we'll have your cooperation, both members of the press. You are also going to be a very valuable partner for us in this journey, as well as the government itself, because every data we are going to be working with on this project are data that are meant to be sourced by or from government sources, so that we are reporting and working with data that is credible and data that is valid. So I welcome you officially to this press conference, and I hope that it will be a rewarding time for every one of us. Thank you very much.
Let me start by thanking all our sister advocacy groups for their time and contribution towards nation building. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the management of Budget International and Budget Ghana, our partners Connected Development or CODE, and Send Ghana or Social Enterprise Development Ghana, I warmly welcome you to this press conference. This morning, our purpose here is to unveil a project that seeks to promote accountability and transparency by tracking COVID-19 intervention funds across African countries. The scheme has been titled COVID-19 Transparency and Accountability Project, or CTAP, and will undertake studies to track government expenditure on COVID-19 response. CTAP is a Pan-African program led and managed by Budget International across East, South, and West Africa, particularly in Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Malawi. The objective is to promote transparency, improve visibility, and accountability of donor agencies and development partners. We believe greater transparency is critical at the national level for accountability and public trust in government, but also at the international level to enable a more coordinated and effective response by development and humanitarian actors. This will in turn enable the international community to better understand where assistance is being provided, to ultimately take better informed decisions about unmet needs. Ladies and gentlemen, at the height of the pandemic, international appeals were launched and contributions were made in grants and non-concessional facilities to battle COVID-19. Developing countries received billions of dollars in assistance through multilateral and bilateral relations as the world collaborated to lessen the effects of the crisis on the most vulnerable in our society. The government of Ghana received tranches of support from sources such as the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the European Union, the MasterCard Foundation, the Korean Export-Import Bank, the European Union, and the Bank of Ghana, as well as the private sector, to help bridge the COVID-induced revenue shortfall. The pandemic has made it clear that tracking and aggregating this collective information is key to enabling a more coordinated and effective response. As revenue streams dry up due to reduced economic activity, governments around the world have been exploring avenues to boost revenue to cover rising deficits. The 2021 national budget presented last week introduced new taxes in a swath of measures to raise more revenue to finance the pandemic response and revive the Ghanaian economy. Around the world, concerns have been raised about the potential for misuse of these intervention funds, especially when they are dispersed under emergency conditions. This has prompted development and humanitarian actors such as the World Bank and other institutions to take steps to improve national procurement processes. Ladies and gentlemen, in view of this, the COVID-19 Transparency and Accountability Project was launched in the wake of the pandemic to track public expenditure and government's response and accountability measures in African countries. This is not a surprise, given the fallout between various African governments and their citizens and donors when funds intended for managing the Ebola crisis were alleged to have been mismanaged. Such tendencies may deepen public trust in the government, thus undermining the efforts to overcome the pandemic. To achieve this objective, Budget Ghana will undertake two major research projects to examine the nation's response to the pandemic. This will cover COVID-related expenditure and the procurement processes, support to healthcare workers, stimulus to businesses, household support, and the vaccine rollout. Aside studying publicly available national procurement data, we will leverage on our tracker and follow the money platforms, as well as the Pan-African tracking system for all COVID-19 funds received. The project will visualize data on all COVID-related funding to help connect the dots. As Ghana charts a path towards achieving herd immunity with the vaccine rollout, we can now take the time to reflect and have a national conversation about the COVID-19 response and expenditure. This project seeks to foster a system of open and participatory government that strengthens civic awareness. We believe the timing for this project could not have been better. Primarily, this project aims to drive citizen engagement as well as improve innovative capabilities of tech tools to develop an interactive portal on relevant COVID-19 data, and become a source of data on COVID-19 response for all stakeholders. We call on all stakeholders to support the project to help promote transparency and accountability while enabling a more coordinated and effective response by development and humanitarian actors for all future global crises. We want to use this opportunity to thank our partners at Connected Development, Global Integrity, Odekro, and Send Ghana for working with us to make this program successful. We thank you all for being here with us. May God bless Ghana and our beloved continent. Thank you.
I believe that we do not need any prophet to tell us about the adverse effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on the global economy, and in particular in the Ghanaian economy. I remember in the media 2020 budget, the Minister for Finance indicated that per projection we're supposed to grow by around 7% GDP. But COVID led us to look at a target of 2%. And just the budget that was read last Friday, what we see is that growth actually went to as low as 0.9%. That would tell us about the devastating effect of COVID on our economy. I mean, both the poor and the rich are being affected. Indeed, in the same media budget 2020, government came out with very good initiatives. Foremost among them was what is called the CAP, the COVID Alleviation Program. That, first of all, sought to give some relief to the vulnerable. Most of us, I'm sure, benefited from the free water and then free electricity. And then there was a component for micro, medium, and small-scale industries. You know that COVID affected a lot of industries, and most industries were even virtually collapsed. And so the 600 million was for that purpose. And then in that same media, the finance minister also indicated that government was thinking about what is called the COVID Alleviation Revitalization Enterprise Support Initiative, CARES for short. And that is 100 billion Ghana cedis, 3-year program for us to make sure that, yes, we can use that as a means to come out of the shocks that we have as a country in COVID. And this program was launched in November. This particular 2021 budget, I think that is the main anchor, aside the taxes and whatnot that we hear. And so it is not out of place that if we have the CAP coming in, that is around 600 million, and then we have the Obatampa, the CARES, as we hear, is called the Obatampa. And all of us as Ghanaians, if we say Obatampa, we know what that means. And that means that it has come to save us. And so if you are investing 100 billion Ghana cedis for this, it is very important that we follow the money. Our research has shown, indeed, Send Ghana, we did some work with some of our partners in following the CAP money. And in our research, there's one key thing that we saw in most research that has been done, which indicates that indeed corruption thrives when we have pandemics. Corruption thrives in case of emergencies. And that is the more reason why, the work with budget has come at a very good time. A time that we are looking at the 100 billion of Batampa money, and of course, most of the inflows that was said by the country lead for budget. And so for us, what we think that it's about time we partner with government. This is not to find fault anyway, but as development partners, we need to look at where the loopholes are, and not until we follow the money, not until we track to make sure that, yes, this is what government actually intended to use the money for. These are the allocations, these are the disbursements that have come in, where monies are going. If we do not do that, I believe that our civil society will also be doing a great disservice to our country, Ghana, and to the people that matter. And so that is what we want. So we are using this opportunity to call on government that yes, send Ghana budget and all our partners, of course, will be coming to government to look for certain information that will help us to closely monitor this. And I believe that we wouldn't just end at monitoring. Once we monitor, as we've been doing over the years, we'll sit down with government, we'll engage government for government to understand what the loopholes are, and so that the appropriate measures actually will be taken, and then we hope that that will inure to the benefit of all of us. So I want to take this opportunity once again to also thank all of you. Send Ghana, we are in support of this. We are in it together because we know that once we win, Ghana wins. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ivan, for the insight given. I'll quickly go to our media friends to take one or two questions so that we wrap up. This is the first question from Ebenezer from Joy News.
So I just want to find out when are we starting this project, one, and then two, have we started any official engagement with government yet? Yes, even though these are mediums call on government, but has there been any official, could be a letter, could be a request from government to release information? Because when it comes to getting data from government, you know how it is in this country. So I mean, has there been
Thank you very much. The very activities or tasks we are doing here today, which is the press briefing, is the official launch of the project. But when you asked earlier, when is the start of the project? Technically, the project started since November 2020, and like I said, is running concurrently in 7 other African countries, and we have just been going from one to the other. But this is signifying the official launch of the project in Ghana. And yes, just like my brother Dr. Ifa also mentioned earlier, this is not a fault-finding mission. It is actually, if seen, it is actually meant to complement what government is doing and also put information out, information that allows government to win the trust of the people when they know and they are aware of what government is doing. So yes, after this official launch, the next critical step we are going to be taking is to begin to knock on those doors, the government doors, because every data we will be working with on this project are data that should come from government sources. And we are going to reach out to government as partner in this process. Thank you very much.
Any questions? I think that the speech and the remarks by our personalities on the table here will cover all the media we want in carrying out their stories, and we don't want to waste much time. So we quickly take the closing remark from our CEO of our Budget Foundation and close the event so that we can go back to our meeting and public.
Okay. So once again, I want to Is that okay? All right. So once again, we want to really appreciate every one of us, from our partners, Saint Ghana, Udekro, to our other global partners, Connected Development, CODE, and Global Integrity. We want to appreciate everyone for being at this press briefing. There are several components of this project, and I'm sure along the line we are going to be reaching out to you, especially the member of the press, to join us as we proceed. There is a research component, there is a tracking component, there is even a learning component. We just don't want to track, we just don't want to conduct research on how the COVID-19 resources have been utilized. We also want to learn from what is happening in one country. Can we learn from it to be able to advocate or push for reform in other countries? So we really appreciate your time here today. Please, we encourage you to please follow up with us. Follow us online on all our media handles at Budget Ghana, at Budget Foundation on Twitter and on Facebook, and you will be able to catch up with the activities that we are going to be implementing. And just as a means of invitation also, henceforth, anytime any one of us is speaking on social media, it will also be good for us to promote the hashtag follow COVID money, so that we can begin to call the needed attention to COVID resources till every kobo, every penny, every cedis that is invested in this is judiciously accounted for. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, CEO. Of course, we know as media guys that accessing such information like Ebenezer from Journey's ask is not an easy task. So we need the media to be our foremost partners so that together we can drive the message. Of course, if you want to ask the Ministry of Finance how certain funds were expended, it's not going to be easy. They will not just release the details for you. But when they know the media is on the watch and any attempt to kind of do some cover up will not attract positive press coverage, they will be willing to release the information so that together we develop our country and the continent and urge our media, donor partners and development partners to support us more in any endeavor that we find ourselves in. So thank you so much. We're not done. It's just the start, and we will engage you more when the need arises. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Yeah.